And part of the work that we do as in the market access team is the foreign investment attraction to Brazil has been on the spotlight. And I wanted to share with you some ideas of the discussions and the anxieties of the clients when they look for the Brazilian market here in with us in our team in Brazil. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is next, Arthur, please. So when you think of Brazil, no, the second one. When you think of Brazil, we understand that there's a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of barriers all over, licenses and taxes, and a lot of the lack of transparency is a specific topic that bothers a lot of our clients. Responding to liberalization, I end up wanting the protection that Brazil provides. And this is exactly the case in most of the industries that we have been acting with. So they don't want the barriers once they're out, when they're trying to export from another country into Brazil. But once they're in, they like the protection and they like to be shielded from competition. In our studies, though, we have found that competition is the best way to move forward, even for the players inside the market. And we have several reasons why Brazil is a very attractive market, even with competition. So next one, please. We have abundant natural resources. We have industrial base in all different segments, and the diversity that we bring here in Brazil, uncommon, especially in Latin America. We can compare it with maybe with Mexico, but the rest of the countries in Latin America, they do not count with such a diversified industrial base. But the one of the aspects that are the most talked about by our clients is the skilled workforce. And this might sound counterintuitive because Brazil has a very poor population, and a lot of communities that are deprived of education. But what we can see is the workforce that is present and the intellectual elite in Brazil and the educational reforms that have been established bring to Brazil a specific workforce that is very creative, very flexible, that absorb new technologies quite fast, even faster than most of the developed countries can show. So this is very important for you to understand that once you're in Brazil, employing the local workforce can be very beneficial to you, especially when you're talking about segments that involve engineering, industries and machinery. To mention is that we are in a very strategic location in South America. So we have, because of our diversity in terms of ports and for the extension that we have entries from all over the place. So we have easy access to Europe, easy access to of course the rest of Latin America, to the African continent. And of course, we are a little bit further away from Asia, but we have very steady flows, container flows, and supply chains that are organized in order to provide very steady and stable workflow and supply chain flows from Asia into Brazil and vice versa. We have the complete chaos of political and economic instability and a very complex taxation, which will most likely change in the coming months. The corruption and bureaucracy. When we talk about FDI in general, what we have to understand is that it's not only being in Brazil with a regular subsidiary. We're trying to endure, to progress and develop a lasting interest and the control in different segments in Brazil. And this can happen in different ways, both in terms of bringing innovation, technology, intellectual property. But what we see as the best benefits for both countries that are investing and us as recipients of these investments are the increasing capital formation, economic growth that is brought by these investments, and of course, to enhance productivity and competitiveness, we have to also create the employment and the income that is necessary to provide this services. The main sources of FDI in Brazil are coming from Europe, the United States. So for building the international business networks is the most crucial aspect when you're talking about FDI. In Brazil, it's completely fundamental to be involved in international business networks that would facilitate and foster this cooperation in Brazil.